welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for the Half Centenarian journey. Today we're going to talk about and talk with a Half Centenarian that's helping us on things, you know, kind of what we talk about in life, we have to talk about also in the inevitable. So things that happen in life that we can kind of control, and there's things that we can't, and death is surely going to happen. But what we want to do is be prepared for that. And Shenita Connally is going to talk us through. She went through this, so she has the experience and the knowledge to tell us how to live our best lives moving forward. So it's life after the rain. But she also has parlayed her legacy with her daughter, and she's turned that into cooking, baking, things that she really loves. So we're going to look at both sides of her life. I'm so glad that you're here. We all need this information. Stay tuned. We have so much in store for you. Can't wait for you to meet Shenita Connally. Thank you so much. Let's go. Thank you so much for allowing us into your home, into your family's life for the day, and just to kind of get to see everyone. And I know you, but I want you to introduce yourself to everyone. This is Miss Shenita Connally. She's done and is doing so much for, you know, Half Centenarian world and those that need her. So I'm gonna yield the floor to Shenita and let her introduce herself to you.
First of all, thank you for allowing me to be a part of your world, Half Centenarian. Who am I? I'm a lifepreneur. Shenita Connally from Pensacola, Florida. All right. Born and raised. Parents, wonderful parents, David and Bertha McCants. Grew up with my two brothers, David and Ricky, and I have two older sisters. And I got married right out of high school. And was blessed with three wonderful children, one whom just turned 38 on yesterday.
And we are we have the pleasure of meeting her as well. You'll see her later. Yes, so yes, that's one of your blessings right there.
One of my blessings, Raven Alexandria Tucker. My son, who is 34, they were born on the same day, 4 years apart. So wow. 3 children, and the baby girl is 32, Brittany. So I am, as I said, a lifepreneur. I am currently a widow, and I live in Jonesboro, Georgia. Been in Atlanta, Georgia since 1996.
Wow, it's been a while.
Yes, I traveled the world with my first husband. We were military, so we lived in Germany, we lived in California, we lived in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and moved back to Pensacola, Florida, and here I am in Atlanta, 24 years later.
Yeah, the math part, yeah. No.
So, I love the Lord. I'm a believer. Yes, I love the Lord, so no denying that relationship. I love people. I love making people happy. And so that's a little bit about me.
Yeah. So the thing is that what we're doing now, like sitting down, getting to know you, and I know, you know, that a lot of you will come out as we have a conversation. So we're here in Raven's home, and she's allowed us to come in, and we're going to be cooking, you guys. And for anyone who knows me, I cook really well. Yeah, no, I don't, but what I cook well, I do. And this is what I've been excited about all week, is because I'm going to learn how to make cake and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So, and we get to kind of bring in all of the other family members, and let's see what this, you know, conglomerate of wonderful women can do, and share the love through food. So that's another thing. Like, we share the love through actions and all that. So now we're going to actually, you know, love personified in the form of a cake or whatever you all decide to make. So we're really excited about that. So before we even get started and all of that, how did all of that get started?
Well, I just mentioned that I'm a widow. And so my husband passed in 2015, and we had a blended family. So I want to mention that I have 2 bonus sons from that marriage. And when he passed away, my purpose to where I am today was birth. So I actually launched Life After the Rain, working with widows and widowers, helping them to live again. Yeah. So the Lifepreneur came about encouraging people beyond their challenges to live a vibrant life. There's still life. Nice. Mm-hmm. And so Life with Shenita is just that, encouraging, inspiring people to continue to move forward in spite of what they have dealt with.
So talk to me a little bit more about Life with Shenita. What is it? What platforms would it be on and all that kind of stuff? And the books that you just, I want to take this opportunity to say you're a widower, and there's so many people, Half Centenarians, which I'm going to say again is a time in life where we deal with a lot of different things, and death. Sudden death or, illness happens all the time, but it's really one of the things that I wanted to tap into, because these are things that we deal with, and these are life situations that we have to overcome. And what you've done is provided a platform to support that process. So give me a little bit more information about what you're doing. And, again, something was birthed out of that death. So that's kind of, I want you to shine a little bit of light on that as well.
So when my husband passed away in July 2015, I was in a very dark space for about 7 months, not really wanting to live. And I had surgery in April of 2016. When I woke up from the surgery, it was as if God was sitting there saying, I need you to live because you have work to do. And so from that moment, Life with Shenita birthed. So life that he gave me to live and to encourage others to live was birthed at that time. From that, Life After the Rain started, my first Life After the Rain event that's specifically for widows and widowers. And they were invited, invitation only, to a breakfast at TGI Fridays in 2016. And so from that moment, they were in a safe place, and it was a moment for all of us to share the love that we shared with our spouses and not feel like it was morbid or someone was going to feel weird because we were talking about someone who had passed. So that part of this journey of Life with Shenita started in 2016. And it continues even today, and I have a huge network of widows and widowers. So my first book was birthed in 2017, and that book is Your House in Order? Is Your House in Order? Because when my husband passed away, all of our affairs were not in order. We did not have a will. We did not have our power of attorney. So the book was birthed to encourage people to get their affairs in order, to get a will, to get their power of attorney, to make sure their banking affairs were in order, to make sure they had life insurance, to make sure that they had funeral plans, their advanced medical directive. And so Is Your House in Order is speaking to that. Make sure that while we're living, that we're handling our business, our personal affairs, because many times we are busy doing life, and that was me and my husband. Busy doing life meaning too busy to handle this important matters. And so that's how the birth of Is Your House in Order came, as a result of what we went through. And I didn't want anyone else to go through the devastation of what I went through, of us not taking our time to handle our business.
That's good. So you have a podcast also, right? That talks about all of that, and we are, kind of just tapping into a lot of the things that you are seeing that you should have done, preemptively telling other people, this is what needs to happen, just so you don't have, the pain of losing someone and then realizing that you don't have all this other stuff in order. So I applaud that for you. So kind of give me an idea about the podcast and how that works, and where people can kind of, if they need that support, how can they get in contact with you?
So I am on Facebook, Life with Shenita. Also, Shenita Connally is my personal page. Okay. But they can reach me there. I have a YouTube channel. And I started the podcast in April on my dad's birthday in 2020 as a result of COVID. When I've been speaking and talking about this for many years, as I said, but when COVID happened, God said, you really got to remind them of how important it is, even more important now because people are dying quickly, to get their affairs in order. So that's how I started the podcast on April 16, 2020, and it's broadcast on Facebook Live every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we started with a mini-series. Every week I had special guests, and I call them subject matter experts, to come in and talk to us about wills, a lawyer, power of attorney, banking affairs, banking experts, funeral directors, medical doctors, chaplains, all of those things that will help us get our affairs in order, because we don't like to talk about death. But it's a part of life. It's a part of life.
Yes. None of us are going to make it out of here alive. That's kind of the ticket out. That's something that we don't think about but should. So I definitely applaud you, because you had to do it after the fact,
On the back end.
Yeah.
And I really don't want people to go through what I went through unnecessarily. So if they really would listen, and not only listen, but move to the next level of taking the time to get in touch with a lawyer or going to the bank to make sure, oh yeah, I do have someone payable upon death if I die, or I have beneficiaries listed on my bank account, or I have life insurance to make sure that all of our I's are dotted and T's are crossed.
Okay, so this is, I think part of what I'm trying to wrap my mind around, and really the reason why, you came to mind when I was thinking, like, what are some of the things that we deal with at this age? And like you said, we all know that death is inevitable. But what you did was kind of grab that whole concept and grab it by the horns and say, you know what, you don't have to go through what I went through. You wrote books, you've had seminars, you've done podcasts, you've done a lot to enlighten people and getting them kind of in the mindset of, you know what, be prepared for all of this. Yeah. And making sure that you do what you need to do to be prepared for that is, it's important. And just like living, you have to prepare for, the death as well. So, not to, I'm not belaboring that, but I want to make sure people understand this is something that's important for us to remember. And getting in touch with that side of things is what you're, providing for, people in the process, of living. Also, same zest and zeal you bring to that, bring it to, making sure everyone's set when or if.
Because I think that when we think of death, because it's so morbid or so negative, people don't want to address it. Because my mother, I remember in the 90s, said to me, you should get life insurance on me and your dad. They had life insurance, but she was so wise. She was like, this will be a way to create generational wealth when me and your dad pass away. But because I didn't want to talk about death, I didn't do it. My sister did take out a policy on them. She took the advice. And so when we think of our loved ones that we leave behind, particularly if we have children and we have to take care of them, if we have not planned for that, we could leave them in a very devastating position. And so if we want to leave a gift of love, this is that gift. Because we know our birth date, we don't know the end date. So because we don't know the end date, we have to make sure that we're taking the time now to handle our business so that we are prepared for the transition. And it's not necessarily just death. It could be illness. If we had not planned for, say, a long-term illness, it could be devastating for the family. So there are so many factors that we really have to think about when it comes to this part of our life that we sometimes miss because we don't want to talk about it. Even banking. When you think of banking, say that you're single, Nobody's on your bank account. You don't have a will. You don't have a power of attorney. You pass away. That money will go to the state.
Right. Right.
Or it may be caught up in probate. So we have to make sure that we're thinking about that and the loved ones that we leave behind.
Yeah.
That we are prepared.
Yeah.
If we don't want anybody on the bank account, fine. But at least leave somebody payable to somebody to receive those funds. Or we've had it listed somewhere in our will that, or a power of attorney, give power of attorney to someone to handle our business. All of those things that really do matter.
Right. So I just want to wrap that part up by saying three things that I've taken from what you said so far is, first of all, make sure somebody's on your bank account. Even if you're single, you need to make sure that it's payable because that money will go to the state otherwise. And then secondly, make sure things like getting life insurance on someone, because that could be a way to launch people into generational wealth, you know, just or to take care of the things that need to be taken care of. And then thirdly, you were saying that it's important for you to deal with like even a long-term illness, like preparing people to be prepared, you know, and having those things taken, just 3 short order things that we can do quickly to kind of make sure that everything is in place in case of and when something happens. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to kind of end with those 3 things because I want us to now transition. So when we talked about transition, let's transition and pivot a little bit on, you know, what are you doing now? So the first thing, you told us who you are, you know, things that you're doing, how you're being, you know, impacted by what's happening. Who are you? You've talked about that. Secondly, what is your purpose? You know, you talked about being a lifepreneur. What is your purpose?
I feel like I'm here to exhort people. Mm-hmm. And when we think of exhort, we think of lifting up. Mm-hmm. And so I pride myself on making sure that people are encouraged because people go through so much in life.
How do you encourage people?
Daily. Mm-hmm. I will send a text message, encourage them. I post every day a message to my Facebook family members and friends to just greet them every morning without delay. Right. Some people live by themselves. They don't have family members. Some don't have friends. And so just a small gesture could take them a long way or take them off the cliff because they could be on the edge. Right. And so I encourage others also by events. I have a book club currently with women. We are actually, it's a virtual book club, When Women Pray. And I just have had an opportunity my entire life, and I call it a gift, to connect people to people, even including myself. And so having those events where it just gives them life. Right. They enjoy the camaraderie. They enjoy the connection. Sometimes people walk away with business partners. Sometimes they walk away with friends. They walk away with resources. And it's just a good feeling. It's not about me, but it's about them. Right. And so I make sure that I let them know that they matter and that they're important, because sometimes people need to hear that and they don't hear it. And so I make sure that they know that they're important. Right.
That's good to, that's good to hear, because you don't know what people are going through. What 2020 showed us, which is kind of how I kind of parlayed myself into saying that there's got to be some things that people need to hear and see, So you don't know what people are going through, and people are living in silos, and that's kind of how I started with that conversation. So living in silos, they are quietly, not happy, or quietly, feeling like they're just by themselves and they're the only ones going through things. So that's really good for you to, kind of put people together, because, they may not otherwise go out there and do it on their own,
Exactly. One of the ladies in my book club just said to me the other night she had a meltdown. And I was able to call and talk with her and just help encourage her through that moment. And so we just don't know. You don't. And so I just want to, my purpose, when I leave here and they celebrate my life, I want them to say, she always made me smile. She gave me a reason to live. She encouraged me to live. That's my purpose when I'm gone. And so I celebrate others. all the time, as well as myself, and you know that. I celebrate me.
That's right. That's right, Life with Shenita. I love it.
And we only have one life to live, so it's important for us to live it while we can.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And I think that what you're doing now, you're living your life. You have your kids. You talked about your 3 beautiful kids. And you and Raven are now starting a, is it only pastries or only...
Just pound cakes and more.
Okay.
So the more is anything else.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So we started out, well, I've been baking since I was in elementary.
Okay.
And I started teaching her in high school. And so a few years ago, she said, I think I really want us to take this business to another level. Nice. And so Just Pound Cakes and More was birthed.
Yeah.
And so I enjoy baking, but I truly enjoy cooking.
Right.
I love to see people smile when they eat my food, like you. And so I'm just delighted. The greatest compliment to me is to teach your children something, and then they come back and go to another level with it.
That's right.
It's a compliment.
Yeah, it is.
And so I'm grateful that she's really taken this to another level, because I don't desire.
That's the legacy, girl.
Yeah.
That's the legacy.
Yeah.
Pour, and I'm gonna
Raven, you have to help me out.
Look, go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
You got
she
it.
said,
One time.
She said anything
Little
can
bit.
be... See, hold on. I'm
Are you nervous?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
No. So how'd y'all get started with this?
Well,
You were saying before.
I
You love to
started,
cook?
and I started cooking, baking in elementary school, and won my first baking contest in like middle school at the fair in Pensacola.
Wow. Nice.
And my brothers were my guinea pigs growing up, and so I've been doing it for a long time.
Let me know when to go.
Let's go. Keep going.
Don't stop. Why'd you
Don't
stop?
stop. Don't stop.
Can't stop. Won't stop.
Don't stop. And
Right.
so you have to pass the torch. My dad was a baker.
Right.
My mother was a baker, but
Oh,
my
wow.
dad took over and started baking more.
How
And so
crazy.
in
Yeah.
the home, we had the cooking and the baking going on. My dad was really famous for his sweet potato pies, which is what we still do today. Raven has really taken it to a whole nother level, as you can see.
She said she
Mom-
wanted to ramp that up.
Yes, so mom is your old-fashioned pound cake
Yes.
cake baker, but Raven has gotten to the decorating,
Yes.
and as you can see, her beautiful artwork.
We're gonna get there.
Yes,
We're gonna get there.
so we are enjoying this collaboration. Okay, you want to add that vanilla flavor?
Yes, I do.
Yes, so we want to give it some flavor.
All at once?
Yes,
Dump it. Okay.
there
Look
you
how it
have
went
it.
away. Like, I marvel at this stuff. Like, I'm gonna go home and try this.
You gonna try this?
No, but I can say that and then take it back.
Right.
But when I do, I'm gonna call you. No, I will call just
Pound Cakes and More. And
then
we got
more.
you.
Yes, I will call Just Pound Cakes and More. So how is this in your best life? Living your best life. You and your daughter living a legacy or leaving a legacy for your daughter.
Oh my goodness. I am in the kitchen, baking, cooking, making people happy. I am on my podcast, sharing information, saving lives, making families, dreams come true, legacies, building legacies, encouraging people to live their life beyond the challenges in a vibrant way.
Nice.
So that to me is living my best life.
Beyond the challenges, girl.
Beyond the
Yes.
challenges.
Yes. They're
Choose
making
to
the
live.
world a better place.
Making the world a
Yes.
better place.
So I'm going to say this to you all. Raven, thank you so much for allowing us into your home. Shenita, thank you for all of the wonderful
Yes.
information.
Thank you.
Thank you. Everyone that has had the opportunity to listen to hear everything that's going on, all of this wonderful information, and you get a chance to eat some of my cake. Yes. This is going to be, I have to say it because it's my word.
Yes.
It's going to be phenomenal.
Yes.
Look at this.
Red velvet cupcakes.
Yes. We have been given so much great information. Remember, have somebody on your account. Let somebody know what you're doing with your money. Let them know that you want this money to go to certain people. Get an insurance policy. Make sure you have enough information and to know what you're doing with your life while you are dealing with, living. Prepare for the inevitable. We got to make sure that we're ready for life after the rain, because that's where we're all headed no matter what. We're living our best lives now, but we definitely want to make sure that we're doing this. Yes. So thank you so much, Shenita. Thanks for everyone tuning in. We look so forward to seeing you. Thank you. Have a great day. We'll see you soon. Be safe.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
That was awesome. Hi, Half Centenarians. We are here in Atlanta, Georgia. We were just in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, Louisiana. Who knows where we will be next? That's totally up to you. We are so excited to bring these wonderful people and Half Centenarians into your homes. And hey, you can subscribe to YouTube and see every Thursday a new episode. Also, I want you to remember to send 3 names of people who are influencing you. Hey, it could be you. It could be you. I would love to sit down and talk to those people, talk to you. Let's get things rolling. Let's remember, we're living in silos, but we want to share our information with everyone. So excited. It has been my pleasure to bring these wonderful people to you. I look forward to seeing you, speaking with you, and sharing. Be safe, be careful. I'll see you soon.